Welcome back. Understanding immigration law and what it means for you with the lawyers from the NPZ Law Group, a full service immigration and nationality law firm right here in New Jersey, New York, Indiana, India, and Canada. With over 20 years of legal experience, Snehal Batra is managing attorney at NPZ's Raritan office. Welcome, Snehal.
Thank you.
So, what does the acronym PERM, PERM, stand for in the immigration law lingo, and how do you get a green card through PERM?
Yes, that's a great question. Well, first of all, Vijay, I just want to say Gamcho to all our Gujarati listeners. That's just to say hello out there. And so PERM stands for Program Electronic Review Management, which basically means a labor certification. And the PERM is the first step in the green card process through employment sponsorship. So when a labor certification is issued by the Department of Labor, it allows the employer to hire a foreign national to work in the U.S. on a permanent basis. So some of your listeners, that are on the H-1B, for example, they're in a temporary non-immigrant visa. At some point, they're going to require a PERM approval for green card sponsorship through their employer. In fact, the vast majority of employment-based green card applicants go through the PERM process because all applicants in the EB2, EB3 employment-based green card categories, require an approved PERM labor certification, unless, of course, they can obtain a national interest waiver in the EB2 category. But basically, the labor certification, it gets filed with the Department of Labor after an employer has completed a recruitment campaign to show that there are not qualified U.S. workers who are able, willing, and available to accept the job opportunity. So what I like to explain to my employers is that it's basically a recruitment exercise to demonstrate that there are no qualified U.S. workers to perform this job, and therefore the employer requires this foreign national on a permanent basis and is going to sponsor him or her, for the green card. So if the employer can successfully show this through the labor certification process, then the Department of Labor is going to certify the labor certification. And now, without going too deep into details about the recruitment, I think the listeners should know that it's a recruitment campaign. The employer is going to have to put newspaper ads, a job order, so on and so forth. And once all of this recruitment is done, the application is filed online. Okay. Mm-hmm. And it's important, though, to keep in mind that the process needs to be done in good faith, which means that while it's filed online, you have to keep a paper copy of all of these documents as evidence, the newspaper clippings, so on and so forth. But once the PERM is filed with the Department of Labor, that's going to determine your priority date. Okay, and the priority date is important because that governs how quickly you'll be able to file for your green card. So again, the PERM is just that first step in the process. Once the PERM is approved, then we move on to step 2, which is filing of the I-140, the immigrant petition. And then eventually, at some point, the foreign national is going to be able to file the adjustment of status or the immigrant visa. And one takeaway I want to mention to all your listeners is that the green card process for the foreign national, we always recommend to start it as soon as possible. But of course, the employers have their own ideas and agendas and time frames. But ideally, you should start it by year 3. Don't wait until you're in your 5th year of H-1B to approach your employer because you may run out of time. Mm-hmm. So that's a really good, takeaway. Start approaching your employer. And in our office, we go through a holistic approach on timeline strategy because the goal is to get your PERM certified for that green card.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you, Snehal. And as Snehal mentioned, NPZ Law Group speaks your language, whatever that is. And you want to check out their website, visaserve.com, to get in-depth information on all of the law that there is, whether in Spanish, in Filipino, whatever the language that you're seeking. Get in-depth information on immigration with subject matter experts from the NPZ Law Group. All you have to do is to reach out to them at 201-670-0006 or log on to visaserve.com. We're going to be back in just a moment. You keep it right here on Mirchi. It's hot.